There will be more floods, and there will be more frequent floods. But keep continuity at work, the same happens on the other side. There will be less water in certain areas, more droughts, and the aridity will be more extensive. On top of all, what makes the whole picture very difficult is that humid areas very likely will become more humid, and arid areas will become more arid. So where there is too much water already, there will be even more. And it is now, and this is your generation that will have to deal with it, because, you know, we are saying sayonara and we'll be out of business very soon. But this is you who will have to fix it, because this is 100 years ahead. The new design tools, the basic principles, generation of engineers, mine included, were trained and grown up, such as this world is a stationary world. Is not valid anymore. Everything is changing. The mean flow is changing. The variance is changing. The higher order statistical moments are changing. The very concept, what we learned in engineering school, 100-year flood, finished. There's no more meaning behind the 200-year floods. And then all the designs are based on these very solid principles. That's a big challenge, what I think the profession, and particularly your generation, will have to do. So there's a great deal of unknown areas which need to be looked at. And I think, and I would like to invite you to do that. If you do this, you make a good investment, because you will be not out of business. Water, as this important issue, will be with us for many years. And let me tell you another example which makes this institute very important and very unique. The so-called Millennium Development Goals, and I'm sure many of you are familiar with that. 9 years ago, the General Assembly of the United Nations had a special session in New York, the Millennium Assembly. And in the Millennium Assembly, governments solemnly accepted a declaration that by 2015, they will halve the number of human beings who have no access to safe drinking water, and also they will halve the number of those who have no access to safe sanitation. At that time, and that was 9 years ago, we had 1.4 billion fellow human beings who had no access to safe drinking water, and 2.5 who had no access to safe sanitation. Safe sanitation is a very important issue, and the two things cannot be separated. It's not only a matter of human dignity and decency to have access to improve sanitation facilities, but also we cannot fix the problems of the public health problems what we are facing. 80% of the diseases are waterborne or water-related. Most of them are a direct consequence of the lack of sanitation. So if you want to fix that one, you have to fix first the sanitation issue. And then to fix the sanitation issue, you have to fix the water issue. There's a whole chain of events which are very strongly linked. Now let's see where we are now and where we are heading to. We have 6 years ahead. A big step has been done forward in terms of water supply. Today, there are roughly 890 million human beings who still have no access to safe drinking water. So there was 500 million people have been provided with access to healthy drinking water, basically due to the major works happened in India and in China particularly. This is okay, so very likely this goal will be achieved. But how about the sanitation goal? The sanitation goal is this, the status is this. We have now 2.6 billion people who have no access to safe sanitation. So instead of being able to reduce the number of those who have no access, this has increased. And it's particularly tragic as it looks now in sub-Saharan Africa. If the current trends and tendencies continue, sub-Saharan Africa will not reach the Millennium Development Goals in sanitation prior to 2080. 65 years later. This is just unacceptable. It's unacceptable ethically, morally, and from the point of view of the whole humanity. So this is one thing, but these are the take-home messages I would like you to take with you. And this is the serious part. And remember this, because this is a thing what we all of us have to work together to change that situation. The particular attention is and responsibilities on our brothers in sub-Saharan Africa who need help, who need technology, who need knowledge. Money would be needed a great deal. The former president of the International Monetary Fund chaired a committee not long ago to see how much money would be required to reach the Millennium Development Goals in water and sanitation. This is Michel Candace, who was a famous economist. And he said that, well, given that the current investment into the water sector globally is about 70 billion US dollars annually all over the world, an additional 20 billion a year would drive humanity into that solution that by 2015 we would have reached the Millennium Development Goals. That money is not forthcoming, but what is worse, even if the money would come, who would implement the projects? That's where you need trained personnel. That's where you need Master of Sciences in engineering and in water sciences. Alone in Africa, if we want to reach the Millennium Development Goals, we need to increase the number of water professionals by 300% in 7 years. This is an impossible job. In Latin America, by 50%. This is an impossible job. In Southeast Asia, who is going to do that? This is why this institute is so important. This is why we would like to have you as our ambassadors when you go home and to talk to government officers and bankers and those rich citizens who can help raise funds for the next generation, because that is what we very much needed. Well, this is. I don't want to be really serious, because this is a very festive occasion, and we have out there all the good things. This is a sample of all the good things this country, our host, the Netherlands, is offering, and you will have a couple of interesting things to sample. For instance, raw fish in onion, and all sorts of goodies which are excellent, and I love them personally. This is a country which has done a great deal over the past nearly 60 years for water education. In fact, the country that has done the most. So we are very grateful to our host government for the generous support that they have provided in terms of these facilities, in terms of the scholarship programs, and in terms of the general support what this institute is enjoying. You will go through now a couple of days sort of a gradual introduction into changing weather patterns, which are perhaps in every 6 hours there will be showers to remind you that fall is coming. And even worse, that winter is coming. So some of you who came from hot climates would appreciate what is snow, ice skating, which this this country loves immensely. But also you will enjoy the hospitality of this country, which is unprecedented. So I would like to wish you a strength, which you would need, patience, and come to us anytime you have even the smallest problem. We are here to work with you, to work for you, to help you as much as we can, to make sure that 18 months from now you will be happy, satisfied, proud, and a great deal smarter. Thank you very much.